My child, today a quiet message has arrived with unusual weight, and if you are hearing these words right now, it is because this moment was not meant to pass you by unnoticed. There are days that move like every other day, and then there are days that carry a hidden turning point inside them. This is one of those days. Do not treat this like an ordinary moment, because something connected to your financial path is shifting in silence, and many people would have ignored it if they were in your place. But you are here now, and that matters more than you realize. Don't skip, because the meaning of this message becomes clearer with every second you stay. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the first sign has already begun to appear around you in ways you may not have noticed yet. A number, a conversation, an unexpected delay, a thought that returned more than once, none of these arrived without purpose. What seemed random is beginning to form a pattern, and the pattern is pointing toward a change that has been preparing itself quietly. There is a reason why your attention has been pulled toward unfinished matters recently. There is a reason why your mind has returned to things you thought were already settled. Something important has been trying to enter your awareness before it fully appears in front of you. Sometimes a financial update does not arrive with noise. Sometimes it arrives like a whisper, almost too soft to notice, yet powerful enough to redirect an entire season of life. Listen carefully, because what feels delayed has not been denied. What looked slow was gathering strength behind the scenes. A closed door does not always mean the end of movement. Sometimes it means the next opening must arrive in a more exact way. And right now, there is movement happening where you cannot yet see all of it. Don't skip this moment. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, and the detail you almost overlooked may become the reason you understand why certain events had to happen exactly as they did. There are people who gave up too early because they judged their situation by what was visible only on the surface. But hidden movement often begins before visible proof arrives. You may have felt recently that certain answers were taking too long. You may have wondered why effort did not immediately create visible return. Yet what you could not measure was still forming. Quiet preparation often creates stronger outcomes than sudden noise. What is forming now carries a different weight because it has passed through delay, uncertainty, and patience. A message, a call, a confirmation, an update, or even a simple piece of information may soon look ordinary to others, but for you it may hold unusual meaning. That is why this moment matters. Not because of fear, but because awareness changes everything. When attention is sharp, opportunity stops looking small. Something unexpected often begins by appearing ordinary first. A line of text. A forgotten contact. A delayed response. A number that returns. The smallest detail can become the doorway to a larger shift. Many people miss these moments because they are looking only for dramatic signs. But some of the strongest changes arrive quietly, almost hidden inside simple events. Do not rush away from this message, because every second you remain here helps connect what has been scattered in your thoughts. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next days may carry proof that this moment was more important than it first appeared. There is also something else you must notice. The pressure you felt before was not only pressure. It was shaping clarity. It was teaching you which direction deserves your trust and which one no longer deserves your energy. Financial direction is not only about numbers. It is also about timing, attention, and decisions made in moments when nothing seems obvious. Some doors closed because they were never designed to carry your future. Some pauses existed so that the next step would not be wasted. What you called silence may soon reveal itself as preparation. And this is why today feels different. Because even if nothing dramatic has happened yet in front of you, something in the atmosphere around your life has already changed. A quiet shift has begun, and those who recognize it early often move with greater confidence when the visible result finally arrives. Don't skip now. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you. The message is not only about what may come toward you, it is also about what must leave your doubts behind. Because when clarity arrives, hesitation loses its power. There are moments when one update changes how you see the last several months. A single piece of confirmation can suddenly explain why the path looked uncertain. A delayed answer can suddenly carry greater value than an early answer ever could. What matters now is not panic, not hurry, but attention. You are closer than you think to understanding why this title found you today. And before this moment ends, remember this carefully: not every important change announces itself loudly. Some of the strongest ones begin quietly, while most people are distracted. Remain alert, because what seems ordinary today may not remain ordinary for long. But listen closely, because the most surprising part has not been spoken yet. What looked like an ordinary pause in your financial story may actually be the exact space where a hidden answer has been gathering strength. There are moments when life becomes silent not because nothing is happening, but because something important is being arranged beyond your view, piece by piece, with unusual precision. Don't skip, because what comes next may explain why certain things felt delayed without explanation. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the detail you almost dismissed may soon return carrying unexpected meaning. Sometimes a single update appears small at first, yet later becomes the reason an entire season begins to look different. You may remember a recent moment when your attention was suddenly drawn toward a message, a thought, or an unfinished matter you had almost forgotten. That was not accidental. Certain reminders return only when their timing becomes important. What seemed minor may now begin to connect with something larger that is moving quietly in your direction. There are people who assume change must arrive loudly to matter. But often the strongest shift begins with something so simple that most people overlook it. A delayed confirmation. A new opening. A forgotten opportunity returning at the exact moment when it can finally be understood differently. What once looked closed may not have ended at all. It may simply have waited for a more exact time. Don't skip this part. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next development may arrive through a path you were not even watching. What you expected from one direction may appear through another. What you thought had already passed may return carrying greater value than before. And here is what many people never realize: sometimes clarity arrives just before visible movement. First the mind becomes unsettled, then attentive, then suddenly aware that certain pieces have been lining up quietly for longer than expected. That inner feeling that something is near is not always imagination. Sometimes it is your awareness noticing movement before your eyes can confirm it. A number may stand out to you soon. A conversation may sound different than usual. A small detail may repeat itself enough times that you cannot ignore it anymore. These are the moments where ordinary attention becomes powerful. Because those who notice small signals often understand big outcomes earlier than everyone else. Don't skip, because the reason this message reached you today may become clearer sooner than you think. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and one unexpected piece of information may soon feel like it arrived exactly when needed. What once felt uncertain is beginning to gather shape. Even if you cannot yet describe it fully, there is already a different atmosphere around your next steps. Sometimes before visible change appears, confidence begins returning quietly. Not loud confidence, just a steady feeling that something is no longer frozen the way it used to be. And if you have felt recently that your patience was being tested more than usual, understand this carefully. Some outcomes become stronger because they did not arrive too early. Timing often protects what would have been wasted in the wrong season. The financial update connected to your path is not only about numbers, it is about timing, readiness, and attention. A small message can carry large meaning when it arrives at the right moment. A short conversation can open understanding that months of waiting could not explain. Don't skip now. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next ordinary-looking moment may not be ordinary at all. It may be the beginning of proof that quiet movement has been happening for longer than you knew. And when that proof appears, you may look back at today and realize this message arrived just before everything started making sense. A quiet turning point is often recognized only after it has already begun, and that is why this moment deserves your full attention right now. What you are hearing is not ordinary because some of the strongest changes in life first arrive hidden inside ordinary-looking hours. A day that appears simple can suddenly become unforgettable because one small update changes how everything is understood. Don't skip, because this next part may connect with something you have been feeling but could not explain. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the smallest overlooked sign may soon become the clearest proof that movement has already started. There are times when a person senses that something is close before any visible confirmation appears. A thought returns again and again. A certain topic refuses to leave the mind. A number appears more than once. A name, a place, a delayed matter suddenly returns without warning. These moments often arrive before understanding catches up. What makes this unusual is that not every delay means distance. Some delays mean alignment. Some pauses happen because what is coming must arrive in a form that can remain, not disappear. What looked inactive may have been preparing itself in silence while you were measuring only what could be seen. You may soon notice that something once ignored begins to look important again. A detail that felt too small may suddenly carry unusual weight. Even a short message, a brief notice, or an unexpected reminder can begin opening a door you had stopped expecting. Don't skip now. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because many people miss their turning point simply because it first appears too quietly. They wait for dramatic signs and fail to notice the powerful beginning hidden in simple moments. And this is where your attention becomes valuable. The way you observe the next few moments matters. Sometimes clarity enters slowly, then all at once. A sentence heard at the right time can explain weeks of uncertainty. A small financial detail can suddenly reveal why certain delays were necessary. What once felt scattered may begin forming a clear pattern. The things that look disconnected may soon start fitting together with surprising precision. You may even realize that certain events that felt inconvenient were actually protecting a better direction from arriving too early. There is also a reason why your mind has been more alert recently. Sometimes awareness becomes sharper before visible change appears. It is as if something inside you already senses that a new stage is near, even before evidence becomes obvious. Don't skip, because this is where many people leave too early and miss the strongest meaning. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and what appears next may not look dramatic to everyone, but for you it may carry unusual importance. A financial update is not always a single message on a screen. Sometimes it is a chain of events that slowly reveals itself. One answer leads to another, one moment opens a second moment, one simple detail suddenly changes the direction of thought. That is why today matters. The first sign often appears before the full picture becomes visible. You may soon hear something ordinary that feels unexpectedly significant. You may read something short that stays in your mind longer than expected. You may notice that a delayed matter begins moving without the struggle that existed before. These are the kinds of moments that often arrive just before clarity fully settles. Do not underestimate quiet progress. Loud movement is not always the strongest movement. Sometimes what changes your season arrives almost unnoticed, then later becomes impossible to ignore. Don't skip. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because one ordinary-looking moment may soon become the exact point where you realize that everything has begun to shift in a way you did not expect. And when that moment arrives, the silence of earlier days may finally make sense, because not everything delayed was lost. Some things were simply waiting for the right second to appear. Now notice this carefully, because the next layer of this message carries a depth many people only understand after the moment has already passed. Some updates arrive quietly, but their effect reaches much farther than expected. What seems like a simple piece of information today can become the reason tomorrow feels completely different. Don't skip, because what you hear now may explain why your attention has been pulled toward unfinished thoughts lately. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next small sign may arrive when you least expect it, carrying more meaning than anyone around you realizes. There are moments when life prepares an answer before the question is fully understood. That is why certain details begin repeating themselves before clarity arrives. A thought that returns. A memory that surfaces unexpectedly. A number, a date, a line of conversation that refuses to leave your mind. These things often appear before visible confirmation enters. What makes this powerful is that quiet alignment often looks ordinary until the exact second it reveals itself. A delayed matter can suddenly move. A closed feeling can suddenly open. A path that looked uncertain can begin to feel unexpectedly clear, not because everything changed at once, but because one hidden piece finally reached the right place. Don't skip this moment. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because many people overlook the beginning of important change simply because it arrives without noise. You may soon realize that something you nearly dismissed was actually the earliest signal. What looked too small to matter may become the first proof that movement had already started before you noticed it. This is why patience often carries hidden value. While nothing seems obvious, unseen pieces continue arranging themselves. A financial update can sometimes arrive through timing rather than direct announcement. A conversation shifts. A response comes easier than expected. A delayed matter no longer feels heavy. Suddenly what felt blocked begins moving with less resistance. These moments rarely announce themselves loudly, but they often mark the beginning of something larger. And there is another truth many people miss: not every important answer arrives in the form they expected. Sometimes clarity enters through an unexpected direction, and because it looks different than imagined, many fail to recognize it immediately. But you are being asked to pay attention now, because the next ordinary detail may hold uncommon meaning. Don't skip, because this message is not complete yet. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the quiet change near you may already be stronger than it appears. You may have wondered why certain things did not move earlier, why effort seemed to pause before visible return. Yet timing often protects what needs stronger ground before it arrives. What appears late can still arrive with greater weight than what would have arrived too soon. A single update can change how months are remembered. One small confirmation can suddenly explain old silence. One ordinary-looking moment can reveal that nothing was as inactive as it seemed. This is why attention matters now more than urgency. Not rushing, not forcing, but noticing. Because when something meaningful approaches quietly, awareness becomes the difference between missing it and recognizing it at the exact second it appears. Don't skip now. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the next simple moment may become the one you remember as the beginning of a completely different chapter. And when it happens, you may realize that today was not just another day you passed through, it was the day the hidden pattern finally began to show itself clearly. There is one final layer you must hear with complete attention, because sometimes the strongest meaning appears at the very end, when everything spoken before begins to connect. A message may sound simple at first, yet its real weight becomes clear only when the final pieces come together. Today carries that kind of feeling. Quiet on the outside, but carrying unusual depth underneath. Don't skip, because this closing part may become the sentence you remember later. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and what seems ordinary right now may soon look very different when the next detail appears. There are moments when a person suddenly understands that nothing around them was random. The pause, the silence, the repeated thoughts, the delayed answers. All of it begins to form a pattern that could not be seen earlier. What once looked disconnected starts fitting together with surprising clarity. You may soon notice that a small sign arrives exactly when your attention is ready to recognize it. Not too early, not too late. This is how many important turns begin, quietly, almost hidden, until one moment reveals that movement had already started long before visible proof arrived. A financial update is sometimes more than a notice. It can be the beginning of restored direction. One message can change how you think about the next step. One unexpected development can remove uncertainty that stayed for far too long. What matters is not how loud it arrives, but how deeply it changes your understanding. Don't skip now. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because there are times when the smallest detail carries the greatest signal. A brief conversation, a return thought, a number that appears again. These things often look ordinary until later, when their timing becomes impossible to ignore. And this is why attention has value right now. The next chapter does not always announce itself dramatically. Sometimes it opens quietly, asking only that you notice what others would overlook. You may soon feel that something around you is becoming clearer without needing explanation. A delayed matter may begin to feel lighter. A path that once seemed uncertain may suddenly appear more possible. What felt distant may no longer feel distant at all. The surprising truth is that many people stand close to change and fail to recognize it because they expect noise. But quiet beginnings often carry the strongest outcomes. What arrives gently can still reshape everything that follows. Don't skip, because the meaning of this title reaches deeper than a simple update. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next ordinary-looking moment may carry the exact proof you needed. If a message reaches you soon, if a forgotten matter returns, if a simple answer appears from an unexpected place, remember this moment. Remember that important shifts often begin before they can be fully explained. And when you look back, you may realize that today was the day when the first clear sign appeared. The day an ordinary message carried extraordinary timing, and the silence before it finally began to make sense. And before this message closes, there is one more thought that must settle deeply in your mind, because sometimes the final seconds hold the strongest truth. What appears small today may become the exact reason you remember this moment later with complete clarity. Some people pass through ordinary hours without noticing anything unusual, while others recognize that certain moments arrive carrying hidden significance. Don't skip, because this final part may stay with you longer than expected. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next simple event may reveal why your attention was drawn here today. There are times when the future sends quiet signals before visible results appear. A feeling that something is near. A repeated thought that refuses to disappear. A sense that one chapter is closing while another is quietly preparing to open. These signals are often ignored because they do not arrive loudly, yet they often appear just before important clarity. What makes this powerful is that not every answer arrives in dramatic form. Sometimes one ordinary-looking update changes how everything around you is understood. A delayed response may suddenly come at the perfect moment. A forgotten matter may return carrying fresh meaning. A detail you once dismissed may become impossible to overlook. Don't skip now. Stay till the end. Something huge is waiting for you, because the smallest sign can carry the strongest message when timing is exact. You may soon notice that what once felt uncertain no longer carries the same weight. A quiet confidence may begin replacing old hesitation. Something that felt paused may begin moving naturally, without the resistance that existed before. These moments matter because they often mark the beginning of visible change. And here is the once-in-a-lifetime truth many people discover too late: sometimes the reason silence lasted was because everything needed to align before the next answer could arrive with strength. What seemed slow may have been preparing itself with unusual precision. A financial update is not always about numbers alone. Sometimes it is about direction returning, clarity returning, confidence returning. One short moment can restore perspective more than weeks of waiting ever could. Don't skip, because this title reached you for a reason. Stay till the end, because something huge is waiting for you, and the next ordinary detail may soon feel extraordinary when you understand where it leads. You may hear something simple soon that stays in your thoughts longer than expected. You may notice one small confirmation that changes the way you see recent events. And when that happens, what once felt disconnected may suddenly become clear. Quiet beginnings often carry greater power than loud announcements. What starts gently can still become unforgettable. So remain aware of the next moments around you. Watch carefully what returns, what opens, what becomes clear without effort. Because sometimes the strongest shift begins in silence, then suddenly becomes impossible to deny. And when that happens, you may remember that this message arrived just before everything started making sense.